Before I get started with this commentary, let me shout out Water Sniper for informing me about this story. And I literally had all day to think about what I was going to say as it pertains to this topic. And this story right here is very interesting and not in a good way. And it has a couple of layers to it, but I think a big lesson has to be learned from this. But before I get into it, let me just set the scene. In this picture, you see a man by the name of Brandon Fontenette. He is 36 years old, or should I say he was 36 years old, so you can see where I'm heading with this. And he's from Texas. So one day he was in a bar, and this couple, who you will see shortly, decided to approach him and basically offered him a business proposition. Now, this was one proposition that he should have said no to, but he eventually did agree to it. Now, in this picture, you see the couple whose name is Brandon and Laura. I'm sorry, not Brandon. I'm sorry, his name is Mark, and his wife's name is Laura Lee Stevens, both age 38. They decided to approach Brandon with a business proposition. And that proposition was to offer to pay him to do a cuckold session. Now, in case y'all don't know what cuckolding is, it is, in a summary, it's usually with white people who go out and they find a person, usually a black male, so he can have sex with the wife while the husband watches. And in some cases, the husband might actually engage and it'll turn into a threesome. Now, this is actually a category of porn and is actually, in some circles, very popular. And when he decided to say yes, then I was like, oh wow, this is not going to end well. And indeed it did not. So what ended up happening is they went back to the house where the session was set to begin, and they was going to pay him and everything of that nature. Well, apparently Mark must have got upset in the engaging of his wife. Now, you would think that because how it was set up, this was actually what's supposed to happen. You know, the black man had sex with the wife and the husband watches. But apparently that's not how he really wanted to go. According to the story that was sent to me, he got in front of the husband and the husband got upset. He probably looked down and noticed that he was lacking in some areas, for lack of better words. And what ended up happening is the husband got so enraged and he ended up pulling out a airsoft BB gun and ended up shooting the BB gun at Brandon. Brandon started to run off, but they cornered him, and then he ended up getting stabbed to death by not just the husband, but also by the wife. So let me tell you, so this is what I think actually was happening. They set this guy up, and unfortunately he took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. So this wasn't so much a thing of what was supposed to be a quote unquote threesome or a cuckold engagement. They were setting this guy up just to flat out murder him, and unfortunately he wasn't smart enough to catch the signs. So what ended up happening is after they killed him, they got in contact with a relative. I believe it was either the brother to the husband or either the brother to the wife. It was a relation between one of them. They get him, and they all three find a way to dispose of the body. Now, the thing with this whole situation here is the incident happened back in July of this year. And I'm just now hearing about this. The incident happened towards the end of July. They opened up an investigation for this story August the 6th of this year. So it was maybe a week or two later. Do you know that as of December 20th, 2018, they just now arrested these two and charged them with first degree murder. So let's put this all together. They murdered this man back in July of this year. We're just now hearing about this story. They opened an investigation up August the 6th, and they just now charge and arrest these two with murder. They also need to get that third relative as well, because They had a hand in helping to dispose of the body. Like I said, this is a very sick story. Like I said, I really don't feel anything for either one of them. And you're probably saying, why don't I feel anything for the guy? Well, first off, you should not have agreed to do something like that. Like, were you strapped for cash that you actually agreed to do something like this? And I was looking through some of the comments, and I already, I'm not even going to say what the people were saying, but you can pretty much guess what people were saying on the particular site that was sent to me. Because if I had got this information, what I'm telling you, off of a regular news site, they would have only told part of the story. Now what was sent to me is what I'm telling you right now, that told the whole thing. I'm talking about the cuckold, the threesome, or whatever they were trying to do. The other sites didn't go that deep into the story. So that's why I said I really don't feel anything for them. I really don't feel anything for the ones who killed him. That's for damn sure. But I can't really bring myself to feel too much for the victim as well, because he put himself in a position that was not very risky. Like, why would you agree to do something like that? You didn't know these people. They just met you. And you agreed. They were probably shocked that he said yes. They was like, wow, this was too easy. They were probably expecting him to say no, or a traditional response. What the hell are you talking about? I'm not about to do this. I don't care how much money you throw at me. Because who knows who is going to end up, because y'all might record it and put it on a site like Pornhub, and there it is. It's out there for the world to see. But now he's dead. A loss of life. Gone. Because he didn't think. He didn't think this through. Like, you don't just go out there and engage in random sex with people that you don't know, with a couple that you do not know. You just don't. Shoot, you might not want to do that with people that you do know, because whatever people do is in their side of their bedroom, inside of their home, is their own business. But you engage with complete strangers. And for what? And now your life is gone. But I hope they lock their ass up and throw away the key, but I won't hold my breath. This is Texas we're talking about here. But they said they have charged them with first-degree murder. They notice it's first-degree murder, so they're saying this was premeditated. So it goes back to me saying that I believe that they set this guy up just to kill him, and that this was what they were going for. But it's also going back into the stereotype that black men are hypersexual beings and will do anything to have sex. So now it's a whole lot of stuff that this thing is just hitting off a bunch of cylinders on. Like, nothing good came out of this whatsoever. A person lost their life because they didn't think logically, and they were thinking with the wrong head instead of the right one. And these two individuals, including the family member that helped, they murdered someone. So there's really no good that can come out of this, or will come out of this. I am, though, curious to see or hear about what his family thinks about this. I'm curious about that, because to have to hear all of this, it makes you wonder what's going through their mind. Like, what's really going through their mind? They're probably saying to themselves that there's no way what story is coming out right now could possibly happen. But see, the person who could tell the story the right way is now gone. So now they can only go off of what the killer said, what the murderer said. And they're probably going to tell the story that I just gave to you. And it's up to the family whether they believe it or not. But yeah, this is pretty much like a death by, I guess you could say, ignorance and stupidity, not thinking. Because there's no way in hell you could offer me any kind of money that would make me do that with people I don't know. Shoot, I wouldn't even do that with people I do know. I would be looking at them like, are you for real? Are you serious right now? But y'all let me know what you think down in the comments below about this story. Like, share, subscribe. And also, I can't believe I'm about to ask this question. Let me know in the comments, has anybody approached you to engage in a sexual act such as the one that was described in this story? Because I am curious, because y'all might have some stories to tell me, and I need a good laugh, because this story was very weird and very crazy. But I'll talk to you in the next one.